What is going on, Phillies fans? Welcome into the Fighting Final. I'm Big Hal here for another Friday night with the big guy. Sorry I missed last week. I don't know how sorry I am, but I did miss last week. I gotta leave you with Matty B. Some family stuff came up, but I'm back this Friday. Unfortunately, starting to watch these Phillies games is becoming very cumbersome, becoming very it's a hard to swallow type team to watch right now. And watching them play against the Chicago Cubs, who are just what we expect this team to be right now versus what this team is, it just makes it look worse. It just shows their blemishes. So as you know, the Phillies lose again. They are lost 4-0 to the Cubs, who are now 17-10, first in the NL Central, one of the top teams in the National League of Baseball, and we have dropped down to 500. Lucky number 13, right? Um, Most of you, I'll keep you up to date. I'll be keeping my eye on the draft right now. If the Eagles move up or do anything, I will, mention it for you. So if you're joining me today, I appreciate your time. Um, I know it's probably been hard to come on and just want to discuss and even rant about the Phillies. Let me know how the audio is and everything. I'm trying a new setup here just to see if I can give you a little bit something different. But it is not. They're just they're not a good team right now. And I'm gonna kind of go back and forth on this a little bit because there are people saying they're not a good team, but they should be a good team. It's not like they're a team that we were hoping would play better or play above. You have some really good baseball players on this team, but you also have some lackluster players on this team. It's definitely some problems between the ears for a lot of these players out there. Even starting pitching starting to falter. Taiwan Walker did what I would imagine a number 5 guy was going to be. I would like to see him go a little deeper, but it's Taiwan Walker. I mean, we're getting what we expect out of Taiwan Walker. He's 1-2 on the season with a 2.78 ERA. If you told me that right now, in the beginning of the season before we started, I'd probably be happy with that. I probably would be. Um, but and again, it's April, and I heard Matty B say himself, you want the team to come out in April and just be healthy and be 500. You want to be under 500 if you can control that. I mean, for the most part, outside of last year, the Phillies would always kind of stagger out of the gates, back and forth in April. Be around that 500 marker. Have a really shitty May, for lack of better words, and then they would turn it around in June and then July, August, and make the playoffs. It may not happen that way this year. I mean, the NL West has some great teams. I mean, outside of the Rockies, all those teams are better than we are right now. The Chicago Cubs are doing really good. Can't count the Braves out, even if the Braves struggle. But at the same time, you know, this Phillies team has huge, huge, huge blemishes, and you can't look past that. You can't not be frustrated with this team right now. You also can't. You don't want to overreact. 26 games into a season, but at the same time, um, you don't want to. You don't want to give them a pass. There's no pass. There's no pass for Bryce Harper. There's no pass for Nick Castellanos or Kyle Schwarber. Even Zach Wheeler, even Aaron Nola. There's no pass for these teams. This team, like I said, I feel it's a lot in between the ears. The game started on a 2-hour delay, which I'll be honest with you, helped me out a little bit because 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, some of us are still working. Um, but the didn't help them any. It didn't help them. It was windy, and it's like, again, like I said, watching this team play right now, um, it's difficult. On top of the fact is, all right, look at the conditions out in Wrigley Field right now. It was a windy day. The ball was carrying. These simple fly balls were not so simple today. And watch what Chicago did. What did Chicago do? Chicago just put the ball in play. They hit the ball and they put the ball in play. They weren't trying to crank a ball every time they had a chance. They didn't get behind. They didn't worrying about putting this game away when they had 2 or 3 guys on base by cranking a 3-run home run or a grand slam or something. No, they just got guys on base. They got on play. and they put it was baseball at its core finest. Like that's what you really should be. Like again, and on top of this team being really difficult to deal with, this team is also going back to a lot of bad habits. I mean, a lot of bad habits. Nick Castellanos, you see him swinging, he's struggling again, and he's just swinging away at everything. I mean, he comes up and you have that look like you can. I feel like if I was an opposing pitcher, I'm going to throw him absolute junk because I know that one pitch. I can see it in his eyes before the pitch is thrown that he's going to full force swing at this ball to crank it over the fence. But today was a day, and they were even using the StatCast showing you like if this was a normal day, that would have been a home run. It wasn't because of the way the wind's blowing. It should have just been guys hit the ball, put it in play, let the wind play to our advantage instead of our disadvantage. But that's not what happened today. It's not what happened today at all, and it continues not to happen. And I'm going to go through some of these things. We got a couple messages here. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Star Wars, first and foremost. Phillies need to fire Rob Thompson. Is that going to solve your problem? You know, we talk about who to blame and who not to blame here, right? Is it Rob Thompson? Is it uh, one of the hitting coaches, the hitting coach, or is it the pitching coach? Is it Dombrowski? Right now, I would have to put most of the blame on Dombrowski, personally. I mean, the way this team's constructed is not great. I mean, what he's added, I should say. The team itself constructed is a good team, don't get me wrong, because they are a good team. They should be, on paper, a much better team, but they're not. So that kind of falls back on the head coach now. So, like, like, I don't know. Like, why would Bryce Harper hit better in these situations? Why would Aaron Nola pitch better in these situations? Why would Nick Castellanos have better plate discipline again in these situations if they fire Rob Thompson? Why? That's my point. Is like it just just firing Rob Thompson does not fix any all these situations. Maybe jolts the team a little bit like it did with Joe Girardi was fired, but does not solve all our problems. Now, is part of the issues because the nonchalant, very hug them up, love them up type situation. Does that maybe like things a little improvement? Some accountability would be nice. So, I mean, there's blame to be spread around. It's just really what's so hard right now is where do you spread it the most? How do you fix it? Like these guys, the players play. You know, I always say players play. So if I got to put blame mainly, I mean, you got guys who are making big ticket items. I mean, I listen. I was one of those guys who were clamoring for Trey Turner. I called the Trey Turner signing. We're never going to see the, $300 million man ever kind of pan out. Adam, what's going on, buddy? Blow up the whole team, the whole damn team. They're embarrassing to watch. They are. They are embarrassing to watch, and they are hard to swallow. Ray came out there and looked like just a goddamn stud. Or the Phillies made him look like a stud. I don't know. Walker is bad. Walker is Walker. Like, granted, for what we're paying him, we would expect more. We'd hope for more. But again, if I told you Star Wars Walker puts up like a 2.78 ERA, you know, on average like 2 to 3, you'd be happy with that. I would have liked to see him go a little deeper into a game. That would have been nicer. Because the problem is, we get to our bullpen, and it's just it's like you could be up 7, 8 runs, and they'll still shit the bed. Like that's the problem. Walker was not great, but Walker wasn't bad. I always say, if any pitcher keeps you under 2 or less runs, that job has been done. Anything on top of that's icing on the cake. And maybe even a fifth guy, 3 runs would be in my eyes, you know, acceptable for a five hole hitter. But as I said, Phillies lost 0-4, dropped to 500, 13-13 on the season. Um, and you're watching the Titans final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Be joining you on Friday nights as long as they'll have me here. It's fun to be talking with you guys. Just maybe not tonight. I know the draft is on, and right now, if you're paying attention, they're at pick number 39 with the Bears on the clock. But I say, well, I don't blame Walker. Wasn't great today, but that wasn't the biggest problem. You score 0 runs, Walker could blank them the whole time. Sooner or later, they have to get to the bullpen. Uh, Hubert Gaffney Racing Stables. All right, and then you have Kepler. He made one play. He failed to play anything else. He failed to play anything else. They are now looking at strikes. They are guessing. It's a joke. Every count's 0-2. It's another thing. They start off with great plate discipline this season, especially guys like Nick Castellanos who are well known for wailing at pitches. And now it's like Hubert said it the best here. They are guessing at the plate. The confidence is in the garbage right now, so it's really hard to get behind this team and to get behind the count the whole time. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and it's the accountability factor. So that to me falls more on Rob. But again, you didn't really you lost pieces in the bullpen. You didn't replace them with anything of real importance. And now I think you put a lot of stress on Kirkering and guys like that and Strom. And if they don't play as well as we know they can play, then now it's magnified. Now it's worse. And that to me is where it is playing into it a little bit. Um, the we have a good team lie is over. It's time to cut the shit. But the funny thing is on paper, the players, the core central players, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, they're good players. Zach Wheeler, good player. Most of these guys would be starting on any other team right now. Aaron Nola, usually a good player. He's been struggling out the gates a little bit. Slowly but surely coming to around a little bit better. Luzardo, for the most part, has been a really good is a really good player. Um, it's the bullpen that's really missing some key pieces, and then other guys who aren't stepping up. Alec Bohm doing a little better. I mean, he has definitely jumped up from where he was struggling from 150 to 213 at one point. I mean, still batting at 213 isn't anything wonderful, but when you're at 115, that's a big jump in a short amount of time. But Bryson Stott is definitely kind of bright spot right now in the lineup is Bryson Stott for the most part. I mean, today wasn't really one of those times, but for the most part, he's been getting on base. He's been getting hits in a good spot. So, you know, yeah, that's my thing is like you definitely have you have a problem in center field right now still. Max Kepler has been mediocre at best, and that's another guy they brought in. I thought it maybe would be I honestly did, and I still kind of believe this. I didn't think a Juan Soto was needed for this team. I think that would just been adding another big contract that might be let down, and adding some good key players. And I thought like a guy like Max Kepler, a guy who's not going to try to stroke the ball all the time, was what this team needed. And again, I don't know if they bring in a Juan Soto, is this team much better? Because they're struggling across the board. Joe Howe, what's going on, buddy? Tough loss. I mean, at this point, is it a tough loss or is it just a typical loss for this team? I hope the audio is coming in good, guys. Like I said, trying out my new setup using the background here in my man cave a little bit to try to do a couple games. 85 pitches in 3 innings is bad. He did it to himself 2 years ago. He checked out. This team is following him. Let him be the hitting coach. Let him be the hitting coach clown. Um, Again, he's not supposed to be here all the time. It wasn't supposed to be him. I don't think he was ever in the game plan at this point. They're paying him; they have to. And I'm not sitting there telling you Taijuan Walker's the answer, and he's not. He is a fifth guy. He's a guy in the fifth guy in a five-man rotation. He let up 2 runs. Or was it 3 runs? I'm sorry, let up 3 runs. To me, for a fifth guy rotation, for what we know he's capable of, that's not bad. I don't care if he let up 0 runs. You don't score. You give the guy no support, and you put it on his shoulders. You want to put a game on Taijuan Walker's shoulders? That is on the bats today. And no, it wasn't a great outing. I'm not sitting here telling you it was a great outing. It was not a good outing at all. But you can't depend on Taijuan Walker to do much better than what he did. So there's no hustle and the bustle of this team to feel like they to put take some of the weight off the back here. The last 2 years since the All Star break, um, the manager can't manage the club. I mean, since the London series, this team has been 500. I mean, at best. And when it came to the playoff last year, you'd think that team would be playing with a chip on their shoulder, and I felt like they were a little bit at the beginning of the season, but and then they played against the Dodgers, and then they did well against it. They beat they won the series, and that was supposed to be a big measuring stick for this team, and since then, it's inconsistent at best. If Trey Turner held the bag, they would have been out for the inning with no runs. That's true too. But again, 3 runs. It doesn't matter, guys. It's zeros across the board in the box score. Zeros across the board. This is why this team is struggling. We're getting to. I'll go through the breakdown of that in a moment. I mean, there's not much to talk about on that. It's a wrap. Sports Network. Why are we up and down with the Wilsons and the Stevensons of the world? What about the prospects? And when do you give some of the LV's pitches at a chance, Lehigh Valley pitchers a chance? I would love to. I mean, at this point, Mick Abel is just pitching so well. Is Mick Abel just going to always be a minor league pitcher and never really do well anywhere else? I don't know. But at this point, at 526 games, take a shot. Give somebody else a chance. I mean, really, it's sad. And I keep telling people I think Crawford is coming. At this point, I really do think he's coming. I just think they were trying to hold him off a little longer into May. I know, Stubbs hit a home run last night, and they were, getting all excited about that. But to me, that means nothing. Um, but I don't know, Matt. I know this is Matty B. And by the way, happy birthday, Matty B, guys. Matty B's birthday was yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. So I wish that man a very happy birthday. If you're out on social media, you see him. But I would love them to experiment. Make the guys who are up here feel like their jobs aren't secure. I don't care how much you're getting paid. If we have a better chance of winning with a guy who's on a minor league deal than a guy who's getting paid $300 million, then we'll deal with that in the off season. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Um, so let's look at these box scores. Let's go with Stott. Stott was 0 for 4 today with a walk. Turner was 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Bryce Harper was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Kyle Schwarber got cold as well recently, 0 for 3 with a walk, 3 strikeouts. Nick Castellanos was 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Kepler was 1 for 3 with a walk. Remuta was 2 for 4. He was our best hitter of the day today. Bohm was 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Rojas was 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And Stevenson was also 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts when he pitched, hit, and played center field. You know, I mean, and again, I know Matty was just asking why we keep bringing up the Stevensons of the world, but when he's down in the minor leagues, he's ripping the ball off the cover, and you bring him in like you were hoping that you would be somebody who would be able to do something. But we waiting for Cal Stevenson to jolt this team. It's got to be done internally. So for a total of 32 at bats, this team had 0 runs off of 5 measly hits. 5 measly, uninspired, not strung together hits. And that's the other thing, man. They are not stringing these hits together. They are not doing anything um, of any great importance. And I got to just point something out, guys. And if anybody's been following the draft, I'm absolutely tired of hearing about Shador Sanders this and Shador Sanders that. But another quarterback was taken, and it wasn't Shador Sanders. Um, the Saints took Louisville QB Tyler Shaw. So just not to get into the football talk, but I think that's just freaking hilarious. But also at the same time, I wish somebody would draft him just because I'm tired of hearing about Shador Sanders. Um, Stevenson was batting sub 200 high value. Well, I'm sorry, Cal was batting before he got hurt. He was batting much better. Um, but like I said, 5 uninspired hits. Even when they're getting hits, they're not stringing them together, not getting guys across the plate. When you're getting guys in runners in scoring position, you're just skying balls to the outfield because you're trying to hit a home run. Just put goddamn ball in play. It is exhausting sometimes to watch this team. If I was a coach of a little league team that was doing this, I'd be reaming them out. Stop trying to rip the cover off the ball. Stop playing selfish baseball. That really what that is to me. It's selfish baseball, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. One big grand slam, one big home run that takes a lead isn't going to be enough. We've seen them blow some major leads because what happens is, say the bats are awake, then the bullpen blows it. Well, say the bullpen's doing a good job, the bats are cold. For the most part, close to the most part, the starting pitching has been the most consistent part of this game, of this team's game so far in the first 26 games, but not 100%. And that's my point. Now on the other side of the field, um, Hap was 2 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Tucker was 1 for 5 with a strikeout. Suzuki was 2 for 5 with a strikeout. Bush was 1 for 1. He has scored a run, 1 for 3. I'm sorry, he was 0 for 3, but was scored a run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Swanson, he was 1 for 3, scored a run, also a walk and a strikeout. Horner was 1 for 4 with 1 RBI. Um, Crow was 1 for 3 with a run scored with the RBI, though also had a strikeout. Kelly was 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Again, they weren't at the most inspired game either. Like this wasn't like we got trounced by like 12 runs. But the simple fact of the matter is, they knew what they were playing in. They knew exactly what they're playing in, and they didn't do anything about it. They knew they were playing a windy Chicago who was on a 2-hour rain delay. They didn't do anything about it. They didn't play to that. They would just put the ball into play and knew if we just scored a few runs, keep it, just they would, they'll just be ahead of the game. And that's what they did. And the Phillies can't figure that out. That's what's nauseating about this team. That's what nauseating. Stop trying to solve the problems in one swing. Small, 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 small ball. I'm going to say it 1,000 more times. Small ball. It solves problems. And small ball would add into this better results with the long ball. It will come. That's my point. Small ball will bring the long ball. It will bring the confidence. It will help the bullpen because the bullpen won't feel like they have to do all the work all the time. That's my point. Like that, it's nauseating, and it's a lot of the same problems the team dealt with last year. A lot of the same problems coming in, and here we are, as if we're still in that Mets series. And again, they played the Mets last series. They got swept by the Mets, a team that humiliated them last year, and they couldn't get one win out of 3 games. Humiliated them. We all have sat there and said, "Oh, well, they'll Mets it up." Well, now we're filling it up, Phillies-ing up, or however you want to do it. That's what's going on here, and it's unnecessary. Uh, Schwarber just interviewed. Obviously, this is a different team than last year. Yeah, but is it? How different is this team from last year? Some new guys in there, but really isn't that big of a difference. But they're not the different team, Schwarber. They're making the same mistakes that they were last year, and that's eye opening. Thank you, Hubert, for bringing that to my attention. Um, so like I said, they were just stringing hits together. Cubs scored a run in the second, scored a run in the third, scored a run in the fourth, and then they had their fourth run in the seventh. And that's it. Nothing inspiring there, but it won. They did what they needed to do They played to the strengths of what the season was. The stadium was allowing today. The weather was allowing today, and they didn't. And it was horrible. It was hard to watch, and this team is hard to watch. And I'm really getting upset that the guy who loves baseball the way I do that. 26 games in, still at the end of April, and I'm already annoyed with this team. I don't. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. And there's nothing to really get at this point. Kyle thinks it's different. He needs a new manager. Uh, you know, every team's different from year to year in some small ways. Some guys come and some guys go. Some guys get hurt, that maybe don't get to play as much. But right now, this isn't much of a different team, Kyle. You guys aren't looking much different than from that London series on. And I had high hopes that they would get themselves back together way before they did last year and be able to put up a fight in the postseason, but that didn't happen. And guys, this team plays like, and kind of like the Sixers played a little bit, thinking that they just go through the motions and they will be in the playoffs. Playoffs aren't guaranteed, man. And I'm not really worried about the playoffs. I'm not going to worry about the standings as much. We'll look at that. Like I said, they're second in the East at 13-13. So that means we're still, but you just got swept by the team. So they put 3 games ahead in front of us. And then Cubs are one of the best teams in the league right now at 17-10. It's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating. It's a nauseating team to watch. And let's just real quick. I want to go through the pitching, and then we're going to get to the bottom line here. Taijuan Walker, like I said, not a great game, but he didn't like let up 6 or 7 runs, and again, wouldn't matter if he let up 1 or 1,000. This team wasn't winning. 3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, all both earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He's boasting a 2.78 ERA. Banks came in with allowed 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, and a strikeout. He's boasting a 3.86 ERA. Ruiz came in 2 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, but 3 strikeouts with a 5.4 ERA. Hernandez came in with 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, and a strikeout, and he's posting a whopping 8.00 ERA. Herkering, man, there's the guy that got to get figured out. They got to maybe bring somebody else in. I don't know. They got to work with him, not get rid of him, but work with him. Maybe his confidence is rocked. But I mean, he didn't let up any runs or anything, and he had a strikeout. Not tonight, but he hasn't been great. So the pitching in 8 innings let up 11 hits over 8 innings, 4 runs, all earned with 4 walks, which is going to hurt you, and 10 strikeouts. And on the other hand, their starting pitcher went 5 innings. Gray went 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, obviously, 2 walks, but 7 strikeouts. Thiebler, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Keller, 1 inning, 1 hit, a walk and a strikeout. I mean, there's not much to talk about here. In 9 innings, they only got 5 measly stinking hits, 4 walks, and 12 strikeouts. You're not going to win with that. Plain and simple. And these guys get paid way too much. You got some big contracts out there. If they start changing some of the rules, you got paid based on your performance. I wonder if we can see a difference. Mikey P jumping in here. Let's see what Hubert says first. Kyle thinks it's different. Oh, no, sorry. All right. The Phillies look heartless. I've been saying it. Yeah. Lifeless, heartless, listless, dull, boring. We can bring up the thesaurus, but it's not going to change the type of words we're going to use. Topic yesterday, we have a good team. Today, we are a bit in a rut. 40 strikeouts in the last 4 games. I mean, are they in a rut? Sure. But again, we can't just assume that they're going to get out of this rut. That's my problem. That's my ultimate problem right now with this team. And it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But with that being said, leads me into a Broad Street bottom line. right, guys, Broad Street, bottom line. Bottom line, this team just straight out stinks right now. PU stinks. Call it in a rut, like Topper said. Call it in a funk. Call it in playing mediocre foot or baseball. Call it whatever you want. But right now, this team is putting a terrible product out on the field, and it's hard to watch. And I am a baseball fan through and through. I love my baseball. You can just see one small section of my collection back here. I got signed balls. I got signed cards. You can see, signed pictures. If you could, I'd show you on the wall if I could move my camera right now. But I can't stand watching this team right now. I can't. This team is lifeless, listless, pathetic, mediocre, in a rut, just not good. You know, straight and simple. Nothing, no frills, no nothing to this team. And it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating. You're playing against a good team. You put yourself behind now. You couldn't win the first game. Now you put yourself behind. You got two primetime games coming up. I mean, we heard it. It's funny. This is how bad this team is. If you're watching the broadcast today, right? So there are two primetime games. So that means Crucky's not calling the game. T Mac's not calling the game for the. He won't be back. They're back until their next series. So they're heading out of here, right? And they're talking about because of the delay, they're going to miss their flight. That's pretty much all like a portion, big portion of what they talked about. Um, and what does that tell you? They're not excited at all about watching this team. It's almost like I'm gonna get like a nice little mini break. Let the national pundits take care of this BS for 2 days. Maybe a little prime time baseball would do this team some good. Maybe not. I I don't know. But if you're looking for this to be a kind of a get right series, um, test your mettle against a good team in the National League, you're not going to test anything. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible, and it's unacceptable. So that being said, let's take a trip around the bases. All right, guys. So round the bases right now. We're gonna take a look around the other scores of the league. Like I said, Phillies lost 4-0. Mets are down 2-0 to the Nats, top of the fifth. Let's see if the Nats can give us a little help here. Still going on. The Yankees and the Blue Jays are knotted up at 0. Just starting bottom of the first. Angels and Twins are also knotted up at 0, and the Astros and the Royals also nothing in the mid second. Later on today, you have the Brewers taking on the Cardinals in St. Louis. That's an 8:15 game. You also have the Reds versus the Rockies in Colorado at 8:40. The Tampa Bay Rays, with the scorching hot San Diego Padres, they're on 9:40 tonight. The Marlins versus Mariners at 9:40 in Seattle. Braves take on the Diamondbacks tonight at 9:40. You got two divisional teams out in the West Coast as well. White Sox are taking on the Athletics at 10:05. Pirates and Dodgers series 10:10, and at 10:15 Rangers and Giants. So right now the only game that's gone final is this hot garbage Phillies game against the Cubs. So that is your trip around the bases. Guys, I want to remind you that this is brought to you by the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Great guys here. I love that they give me the opportunity to stretch my legs and do one of these shows here and there with you. I love spending my Fridays with you, talking Phillies, especially if they start winning. That'd be great. Rest of the series, you got Patty B, as I call him, and Matty B. You got the Mayfair knuckleheads taking you on into Saturday and Sunday. So Matty will return. He can put his face back on the camera. He was on a little vacation, and he had all us covering for him. So he's back. If you want it or not, don't forget the attacking third is on Thursdays. It was on Wednesday this week because of the draft going on, and actually Dallas pick is in, so I'll see who they pick. See if Dallas fans rip their faces off again after taking a guard, which was the right move, by the way, for them. One more week of the It's a Wrap. I mean, of the wraparound with Patty B on Sundays this Sunday because he and Mike Laro with me behind the camera return for PM in the AM. All the craziness you know and love. That will be returning as well. So, with that being said, I think we have a couple more comments here. Uh, Michael Zafiri, I can't believe it's 5 in a row. Yes, that's my son, for anybody who's wondering. I didn't even know he had a Twitter. I'm going to talk to him about that later, about setting up social media without telling his father. But yes, it is, Mikey. Um, it's my son's B-day. Can you give my son what? He's making my listen. This is why I don't like my kids. Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out there. This kid's a nut. I mean, no more comments from him. He's flagged. But guys, thank you for hanging out with me, and hopefully, you can rant with me, feel a little better, whatever it is. But that's about it. Phillies dropped to 0-4 and start the series 0-1, and hopefully, in some two primetime games, can make things better. But I will not hold my breath. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for following, subscribing to all the It's a Wrap stuff. And if you want to follow me, I'll be tweeting tonight, just watching the draft a little bit with my sons. So keep it posted on to me at Big Al Sports with a Z. Other than that, I appreciate you guys joining me, and we will see you guys next time.